Hi.
Hello. Hi.
You're all so big.
Oh, I do. I got the camera this time.
Well, we're gonna have fun today. Put your boots on.
All right. Then 9/10/18. It's September the 10th, 1918. I'm 98 now, and I hope to make 2 more.
May these words be the first to find your ears. The world is brighter than the sun.
In North High School, we met, and I was a year older than her.
I always had a very nice family. First of all, mother and father and brother, that we were always so good. But I went to school. I was all right, and I did good in school.
And she came over as a freshman. I met her, and we became good friends right through. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He used to wait in the side, and there was a barber shop, and the minute I came around, he would wait for me, and then he'd come out, and then he'd walk me home.
How did you hear about World War II, like, happening and everything like that?
Well, I come home, it was a Friday night. She says, "You got a letter from Uncle Sam." I said, "No, really? No, don't worry about it." I said, "It's no problem. I'll bring it to work tomorrow morning, Saturday, and they'll take care of it." And then Saturday morning, I got the letter and showed them, "I got a letter from Uncle Sam." "Oh, that's too bad. Well, write to us, and remember, you got a job when you come back home." "Thanks a lot." And the letter says, "Monday morning, go at the Armory, where the Armory Square is now." That was the Armory, and show up. Don't be late. Got to be there at 8 o'clock. I was in, examined, sworn in, and I was in service.
We laid our names to rest along the dotted line. We left our date of birth and our history behind. We were full of life, we could barely hold it in. We were amateurs at war, strangers to suffering. We made our families proud, but scared at the same time. We promised we'd be safe, another life from the front lines. Our backs against the wall, we're surrounded and afraid. Our lives now in the hands of the soldiers taking aim. Our questions ricochet like broken satellites. How our bodies born to heal become so prone to die.
I was very fortunate. I went in special service, and I became a musician. I played with a 65-piece orchestra. It was the only orchestra like that in the whole Army. And I don't know how I got in there, but I was very lucky. I was playing Split the Book with Bobby Guy. Bobby Guy was a famous trumpet player from Hollywood. Then they broke us up, and from there, I went into a special small unit called Yanks-a-Poppin'. This was a comedy, old comedy thing, you know. And we went overseas. And my aim was to see my brother. And it shakes me up. Excuse me. But I did. I found where he was. I took a chance. I became good friends with the mailman. And I went, I says, you know, I says, I'm trying to figure out where my brother is. He's in the fighting engineers. And he says, well, we can find that out. Okay. And I says, I want to talk to him. He says, oh, he says, don't ask me to do that. He says, well, yeah, I just want to talk. He says, you can't. We got a special line. Only officers can use it. He says, you're going to get me in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble. I want to go home after the war. I said, so do I. I won't get you in trouble, I promise you. I talked him into it. And so I got on the special line. And the first thing I says, this is Captain Anthony Pietrocola. I want to speak to Combat Engineer so-and-so. Finally, here, Combat Engineers, Captain so-and-so speaking. Captain, have you got Joe Pietrocola? He says, we certainly do. I said, this is his brother, Anthony Pietrocola. Wow. He says, I'll get him for you. Wait a minute. And he got him. And Joe says, how the heck you get on this line? I said, we won't talk about that now. He says, I want to make arrangements to come and see you in 2 days. I'm going to come and see you. I got time off. And this was in Manila, in the Philippines. And I'm in Manila, and he's at the other end, right near where the fighting was still going on, see? But in the daytime, all the army trucks would go through. And I got out there and put my thumb out. First truck came along, stopped. They never leave a fella go if he's got to get someplace. Hop in, he says, where are you going? Combat Engineer so-and-so. Oh, that's my outfit. He says, come on, you got on the right truck. Okay, we're getting supplies from Manila. We're bringing them back to camp. So he brought me back to there, and I met your brother. Well, what a time. We had a nice time together. And then he says, the captain says, now you go back with him in the daytime. Right. He says, we got 2 trucks going back for a load. He says, they'll leave you off at his camp, and you stay there, and then be sure to be out there when they come back. And he said, okay. So he came back with me, and it was funny. We were in a truck, and some little Filipino, real small guy, he's selling ice cream. Well, we haven't seen ice cream in 2 years, you know. And my brother, more than that, ice cream. Oh, you gotta be kidding. No. How much you want? He's got little tiny cones, and he puts a little tiny spoon and put the ice cream on it. $1, please. $1, yeah, okay. And the driver says, don't worry about it. He says, eat all you want. We ate all his ice cream. The line just kept on going. No more ice cream? Okay. You pay. We all jumped up on the truck fast. Off we were. And that guy, I could still see he's jumping up and down in the street, you know, like that.
Did you meet any famous people while you were serving?
When we were training, Bobby Breen was a famous singer. He was, what's his name? If you know Susie like I know Susie.
Susie, like I know Susie. Oh.
Bobby Breen, there was 2 others, and then there was Mickey Rooney. And Mickey Rooney and I became good friends. In fact, well, for a while, we didn't get along. And it was his fault. We had to do an hour show that was broadcast every Monday night from coast to coast. And then they had a little comedy hour, a few minutes, a little skit. Mickey Rooney or one of the others would do a show. And it was a popular show. And they call it, this is the Army, Mr. Jones. And that's what we were calling Mr. And then they got in touch with us saying, you can't call yourselves, this is the Army, Mr. Jones, no more. We have one up north, and you can't take their name. Oh, and it's, wow, how are we going to get around this? And then come the next Monday night, and I'm waiting to see what they're going to say. And here is the Army, Mrs. Jones. And they couldn't say a word. It was Mrs. Jones. So. Walt Disney was brand new. If you just say the word Donald Duck or Mickey Mouse, everybody laugh. People just laugh. Those were funny words to them, you know. And so people liked puppets. And I had this puppet, but I did the puppet act with my trumpet. Near the end, they broke up our outfit. No more shows. They were preparing us to go land on Japan, see. And I met my brother. I says, when are you going there? He says, -7. Oh, geez. I said, Joe, not minus. He says, yeah. He says, I'm sorry. That's what I've got. I said, I got +3. Now that meant the big attack, 7 days before the big attack, he was going to land. Truman was the president then. He says, I don't want to lose any of those men. He said, I don't want any of them to go. Well, how are we going to do it? He says, we'll use the bomb. They had just invented the atom bomb. And there was just nothing there. No buildings, nothing. And when they did that, they surrendered. They told me I had 9 more months to wait to come home. 9 months. And exactly 9 months. And I said, okay. And they asked me, you got a small group? Yeah, I still had a group of musicians. He says, could you play the admiral from the fleet? It was his birthday, 70th birthday, and they wanted to have a little party. They booked a place in Manila, and they wanted to know if I could come over with a small group and play some soft music. And Corky Cornelius, he got up to the microphone and announced, he says, and now he says, we have a little act for you. We're going to have a trumpet player do a little puppet act. Hey, I says, don't tell me what to do. Well, he says, they're all waiting for you. You better do something. And, oh, jeepers, here's your puppet. Okay, I put it on again. And I did the puppet. And while I'm doing the puppet, this one guy's laughing his head off, real loud. And I thought, well, that's pretty good. Somebody's on my side. I wonder who it is. And we get all through, and they all applaud. And it was the Admiral. And he come up, and he put his arm around me, and I could tell he was drinking. He felt pretty good. He says, my buddy. He said, just like that to me. My buddy. I never forgot that, because the Admiral said that to me, you know. And he says, tomorrow morning, can you be ready? I want you to go home. Oh, I can't go home. He says, you want to go home or not? And yeah, I'd like to go home. He says, okay, you be ready 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Okay, I got my barracks bag, got in the Jeep, and off we went to the ship. And there he was waiting for us. And I was getting sick. I don't know what was wrong with me, but I was running a fever, and I was getting real down and out. They picked me up and they brought me down to sick bay. I figured I'm not going to stay down here, but once I got in there, over 2 years, I never saw a sheet and pillow and a mattress, and there was a bed already. Boy, that looked good. So I said, yeah, okay, I'll stay. And I went right to bed. And I had 104 temperature for 30 days. Don't ask me how. And they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. They didn't know. And we came home that way. Came through the Panama Canal, all up the East Coast, until I looked out of the round circle there on a ship, you know, and there was the Statue of Liberty. That hit me. Statue of Liberty, I saw it, you know. And we got there.
I was very lonely.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of friends, and like I said, I had such a good family and a lot of good friends, and I survived everything.
And then they says, now the captain came and spoke to us. He says, you fellas been on this ship, the whole ship, and in bed here. He says, now, he says, we got to send you right to the hospital. Oh, a lot of moaning and groaning. Nobody want to go to the hospital. We want to go home, you know. He says, I want to go home. And he says, well, one way you can do it, if you pick up your barracks bag and put it on your shoulder and walk out of here with it, you can go home. Otherwise, you got to go. You have no choice. You got to go right to the hospital. So along came the this fella next to me, we became good friends. He says, "So you want to go home?" "Yeah, I want to go home." He says, "Trust me, will you?" "What? What do you mean?" I says, "Well, I know how I can get you. I can get you to go home." He says, "Where's your barracks bag?" "Right here." Took my barracks bag. Everything I had a couple souvenirs in boxes for her and my daughter, Anita. And she's taking everything and throwing it out the window. All my clothes. Threw it all out the window except one outfit. That's all he left. He said, "That's for you to get dressed tomorrow. You put that on." He says, "Now what am I going to do?" He says, "No." He says, "You can help me. I'll be right back." He come back with rolls of toilet paper. That morning, I picked up the barracks bag full of toilet paper, and I put it on my shoulder. He says, "Yep, you're okay." Next one, nope, they were falling on the floor all over the place, but they couldn't make it. Most of them couldn't make it, and I did. And but I didn't tell them how or why, you know. All my stuff was gone. But I got up to the top. It was cold out, and it was February. Yeah, Fort Dix in New Jersey. That's where we landed, and we're walking on cobblestones, and it was February, but I was soaking wet from sweating. I was so hot because I had a temperature of 104 to begin with, see. And I'm just soaking wet, but it feels good. And I'm marching along on the stones, and I can't keep up with all the guys. Pretty soon, there's all strangers around me. I don't know who they are. And one of them chapped me on the shoulder. He says, "You see what you're doing back there?" I said, "I'm trying to go to the same place you're going. I'm not looking back there. I'm not doing anything back there." He said, "Well, when you get a chance, take a peek back there." And I turned around and looked, and there, and for about 2 blocks, there's toilet paper flying like this, all the way up, just flying on. And there's guys on both sides. They would want to get in the way of the toilet paper. So I just dropped the bag and went on. And we got to the place, and he says, "Well, we want to make a meal that you want. We know you haven't had a steak or eggs or milk for as long as you've been away. So why should I be different? Steak and eggs and a quart of milk." "Okay, no problem." And they brought it over, and he says, "Take it easy on the milk because it'll do a number on you. You haven't had any milk in years." "That's right." And he says, "Well, okay, I'll take." And the fellow next to me, he had a quart of milk too. He says, "Well, I better not drink it." I said, "I'll take it. I got 2 quarts of milk now." And I'm eating, and I'm drinking the milk like crazy. I drank all the milk. And then I had an attack on my stomach. It was awful. Black. And then the nurse says, that's the blood." She says, "That's the color of the blood that was in your stomach." She says, "Your stomach was all full of blood." And that was good. The fever went away, just like that. So got on the train and came home, and about 3 o'clock, between 3 and 5 in the morning, I knocked on the door and I says, "I'm home." She came down. Yep. Shakes me up. It's been a long time ago. And Anita came. She said, "I want to see my daddy." She looked when she saw me. It startled her, you know. She heard a lot about Daddy, but she never met me. A year and a half old, till 4.5 years old, almost 5.
I've waited 100 years, but I'd wait 1,000,000 more for you. Nothing prepared me for what the privilege of being yours would do. If I had only felt the warmth within your touch. If I had only
77 years we were married. We celebrated a little while ago. You were there. Yeah. The war, it's a terrible thing. People don't know how bad it is, but the people that were in it do. Today, they've invented so much stuff. All this new stuff, the equipment you have. In my day, there was nothing like that. Nothing like that. So it's a different world. Yeah.
Think it was better then or now?
Well, I don't know. I liked the world that I was in. Now I'm not so sure. But
How are you staying healthy?
Always staying healthy?
What's your secret?
Well, the secret is I'm the cook for her.
No, for you.
Oh yeah, every day I drink a little bit of wine, but I didn't drink any today.
Well, day's not over with.
Day's not over.